Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have another soup recipe for my Ramadan series, and we're going to be making chicha soup. So chicha soup is a very simple soup we make in Morocco. There's like 5 or 6 ingredients max, you guys. This is so easy, so delicious. Way less work than Haida for sure. And I paired it with some lemon, khubz, and some dates as well. And I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's start. You're going to start off by dicing 2 onions very finely. Sometimes I like to dice them by hand, or you can go ahead and put them all in a food processor along with your parsley and cilantro. So right now I'm just going to be dicing them by hand this time, and it was a little too lazy to grab my food processor today. Next, you want to take a pot large enough for soup, of course, and you're going to fill that up maybe about 3/4 to the top with just regular water and let that boil on a medium heat. I usually never measure, but go ahead and use your eyes. I will put measurements, approximate measurements down in the description below. While that is boiling, we're going to go ahead and chop our parsley and cilantro. So I washed and dried my parsley and cilantro, and I'm going to chop it up very, very finely. Remember, you can, of course, put this in a food processor to cut down the chopping time and the work right here. Pretty simple. I usually put in both the onions and the parsley and cilantro all together because it is all going in the soup. Once I have my chopped parsley and cilantro and my chopped onions, I'm going to go ahead and add those to the boiling water. So I'm adding the onions first and then the parsley and cilantro, and we're going to let that boil for a little bit so that we can fully cook the onions. This soup is super simple. It's really just adding some ingredients to a pot. You know, there's not much prep work needed, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a good mix and let that cook for about 10 to 15 minutes on that medium heat. After a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and add a whole can of tomato paste to the soup. So I'm just going to throw that in there and give that a good mix to make sure that it all dissolves within the soup. That's going to give it that red color and that tomato flavor as well without having to chop a bunch of tomatoes here. Once we add that in, like I said, just go ahead and make sure it's all fully dissolved into the soup. And next we're going to add in some of our seasonings. For our seasoning, we're keeping it simple. We're adding in turmeric, chicken bouillon, black pepper, paprika, and dried oregano or za'atar. This is fresh from my garden and I actually dehydrated it myself. So we're adding it into the soup and then of course giving that a good mix. And once that's mixed in, we're going to go ahead and take our bulgur or cracked wheat. You can find this pretty much at any grocery store. I usually like to get it from the halal store because it comes in larger packs. But we're going to go ahead and wash and rinse out our bulgur because you want to make sure it's thoroughly clean. Just like rice, you want to make sure you clean it. Then I'm going to add in my washed bulgur into the soup, spoon by spoon, making sure not to splash everywhere. And you're going to give that a good mix in between adding it in so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Once we got all our bulgur in, we're going to go ahead and close the lid and make sure that we cook this for another 10 to 20 minutes depending on the size of your bulgur. Then it should look like this once it's ready to go, and all you have to do is serve. I'm grabbing my favorite Moroccan dishes. These are actually from Tunis, so I have a mixture of some from Tunis and some from Morocco that will go perfect with these soups. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop that up. I like to get a good ratio of bulgur to soup here. Traditionally, many soups are served with some lemon, so I'm going to add in some slices of lemon here. We also like to dip bread into our soup, so I'm adding in some baguette bread. And then, of course, you want to break your fast or just have some dates with your soup. So I have ground dates that I dipped in some almonds. Top it off with a little bit of fresh parsley and cilantro. And that's it, you guys. This is how you make chicha soup. This is so easy. I really hope you guys try this one for your next iftar. As always, ha. Oh, this one's really good. You have to try this.